I have my brushes here. I think we're gonna most likely use the brown one. So I'll just wait 30 more seconds for you to get all your stuff ready.
I don't have yellow.
You don't have yellow? That's okay. Then
Is that okay?
Did you use yellow last time?
Yes.
Okay, so that's fine. We'll just, because right now we're just finishing up.
Okay.
That's fine. Do you have a brown color or something similar to brown?
Yes.
Okay, so once we use the brown, you'll just use that one.
Okay.
Could you sharpen this, please?
Okay, do you have a sharpener?
Yeah.
You can certainly do that. And then the full classes will be on YouTube, so you can watch it. So the first thing is we're gonna draw 2 palm trees right here. So get your paint ready. We're gonna be using, if you have your own brown, you can use your own brown. If you don't have it, we're gonna mix it. So brown, I'm gonna show you this in a second. So I don't know if you remember from our previous paintings, to make brown, you mix all these 3 colors. So I like mixing yellow and red first. That gives me orange. And then I add a blue. If you already have a nice brown looking color, you can use that one. So let's get started. So I'm just gonna get my palette ready. I'll show you in just 2 seconds. So I have yellow, red, and blue. And first I grab yellow and red. That gives me a nice orange. Oops. I'm gonna do this fast and I'll repeat it so my paint doesn't dry. And I add a little bit of blue, just a tiny bit. Starting to get darker. I add more blue. I think a lot of you already have a brown in the colors you were giving, so you can skip this part and just use that one. So right now we're just gonna make the 2 palm trees. And you just add colors. If you see it's too red, too yellow, or too blue, you just add the other 2 colors. So right now I'm adding red and blue. So again, I'm using yellow, blue, and red. Once it doesn't have to be perfect, just a brownish color. Once you have that ready, we're gonna draw. I'm gonna test first over here quickly. Yeah, I think I like that color. So I am using a pointing, a round brush, and we're gonna imagine one palm tree over here, the other one over here. It's easier if you have to mix the color. It's easier if you have lots, because if you have to mix again, it may end up looking different. So the way I draw my palm tree is just a small or a curved line. A little bit curved, and it's thicker, it's bigger at the bottom. If your brown is darker, that works too, that's fine. Or you can add a little bit of white. You can experiment, but I'm just mixing a little bit more because I didn't make too much the first time. In the top, try to make it thin. And that's our first one. Now we're gonna do our second one. So just to review, if you just joined us, we're just finishing our painting from last class. If you were not here last class, you can mix and do what we do, and then you can do the whole painting. It will be on YouTube. It will take, I think, another 15-20 minutes to finish this one, and then we'll just use pencil and paper. So now let's imagine where our other one could be. Maybe over here. Try to see it first in your imagination before drawing. All the way down here. So we're just mixing brown. If you already have a brown in your palette, you can use that one. You can add a little bit of yellow or white to make it lighter, but just whatever brown you like, it's fine. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't have to be exact. If you don't have a brown, you can mix it using yellow, blue, and red. About equal amounts of all colors. when you're mixing three colors, if you see that, for example, my brown is too red, I just add the other two to complement. Okay, I think I'm happy with that. So I'll let you catch up and we'll just wash our brush. And for our next color, we're gonna mix green. If you already have a green, you can use it. So the one I have, let me show you if I can find it. If you have a green like this, like nature green, you can use that one. If you don't have a green, you can mix yellow and blue, gives you green. So once you're done with the brown, wash your brush. And we're gonna either use green or mix it. Let me show you how I mix it. So I get yellow and blue, more yellow than blue. If you're using a already mixed one, it's a bit darker, that's fine, leave it dark. Like this. I think most of you have green. If you need to mix it, you can add a little bit more blue to make it darker. Okay, so our first color is a little bit darker blue. Sorry, darker green. Once you have your green, I like to grab a lot of paint with the tip, more the tip. And we're gonna draw our palm trees. This is what we did when we were drawing the landscape last time with pencil. So I'm gonna start with this one. First of all, let's make lines. Curved lines going down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 lines. That's just a guideline. And then we're gonna do the other 5 or 6 on the other one. It doesn't matter if they touch. So let's do one going all the way up here. Maybe let's start them a bit lower. One, 2. You see how curved the line is? 3. 4. 5. And now we have our green. We'll make it a little bit darker. So let's add a little bit of blue, not too much. You don't wanna put too much. Remember when I mix, I just put it on the side. A little bit of blue and a little bit of red. just the tip of my brush on the side first, and then I slowly mix. Remember, whenever you want to make a green darker, you just put red because it's the opposite color on the wheel. So I have a darker blue now. And we're just going to, so I don't want to put too much pressure on my brush, but I pick a line and then just draw lines all going down. Pick this one, just lines going down. They don't have to be perfect. So I'm gonna show you closer here. You see how you can see the paint that is at the back go through? Like you can see the blue here. That's what you want. So grab paint, the darker green with the tip of the brush, and just go along the line going down. And you complete all the lines we made previously. Doesn't have to be perfect. We're gonna make a lighter green and go over them. Okay. Once you're done, don't clean your brush. We're gonna make a lighter green. There you go. So we're gonna repeat the process, what we just did. Don't spend too much time going over because then you're putting too much paint on it. So let's mix a lighter green. I already had it, but so you basically add more yellow to the green you had. make sure you can see the difference between your two greens. So we added yellow to the green. It gives me a lighter green. And if you have different brushes, if you have only this one, you can use this one. But if you have an even smaller one, you can switch to a smaller one. I'll just keep using the same one. We're going to do the same thing we just did, but we won't cover all of it. So I'm gonna start with this one up here. So I just touch down here and there, more spread out. And maybe I don't cover the whole thing. Just here and there, a few highlights. Once you're done, you can clean your brush. And we're almost done. The last thing we're going to do is the shadow. And then we're gonna just finish with a little bit more lines here and there. So let's, I'll give you time to finish the palm trees, and then if you're all done, you can start mixing, getting your brown ready, but we're gonna need a darker brown. So if you have a brown color, just add a little bit of black. If you need to mix the brown, we'll mix it again. Red, blue, and yellow. And we'll add a little bit of black. I'm gonna mix it. What part can you see here? Okay. So yellow and red gives me orange. And I add blue. Now it's too green. So I add more red. Starting to look brown. And I add a little bit of black to make it just darker than the palm trees. Just gonna test it, that's good. So I'll let you catch up. So I'm just gonna review what we did. So we mixed a dark green, then first drew the lines indicating where the leaves are. And with that same green, we just painted lines going down on all of them. Then we mixed a lighter green and did the same thing. Lines going down here and there. And now we're mixing a dark brown. So if you have a brown already in a tube, you can use that, add a little bit of black. If you need to mix it, we mix brown by combining blue, yellow, and red. And to make it darker, I added a little bit of black. Once you're happy with your brown, we're just gonna, so imagine if the sun is coming this way, the shadow of the palm trees will probably go this way. So you see how I'm painting, just doing lines like this, not covering the entire area. Okay. And now the last and final step, I'll let you catch up. Once you're done with your darker shadows, just clean your brush. I'm just gonna try to log in again for my other camera because for some reason it's not letting me start the video. So if you're almost done with this step, the next step, you can use any colors you have. So for example, I know some of you have fun colors like this ones, orange, pink, or purple, or light blue. Use any color you would like. If you have just the regular basic colors, you use those, so yellow, red, and just pour a little bit on the palette. You can put maybe 2 or 3 colors. So here I'm gonna put a little bit of light blue. And over here, maybe a few more orange. And I think that will be it. So look at your painting, see what colors you would like to add. Maybe white works too. So just pick a color. It could be pink, purple, orange, any color. And just pour a tiny bit. We're not using much. I know some of you had bright orange or purple. You can use that. Pink again. So these are the 2 colors I chose for my last step. So bright orange and light blue. But again, you can choose any colors that you like in your palette, so whatever color you choose. If they're too bright, try to put just a few here and there. See, my orange is very bright. And that's okay. Just lines here and there. If it's orange, try to keep it close to the sun. Or red or yellow, keep it close to the sun. Or maybe on the sand a little bit. So as you can see, I'm just adding lines of color here and there. Even on the palm tree. Whatever color you have, just put it on the palm tree here and there. And once you're done, you can choose your favorite color and just sign. I'm just gonna choose pink to sign my. Let me just bring the back because the shadow is right up. There we go. Perfect. And that's our Van Gogh painting. So remember to sign and date. Remember to put a few colors on the palm trees to bring it together. And then once you're done, you can clean your brushes and we'll get our paper and pencil ready.
Pencil.
If you run out of canvas, you can find these at the dollar store. I find they really make a difference when you paint on canvas because the regular paper absorbs the water and it will get all crinkly. So if you can find these, they're not expensive and they really make a difference. Or even the paper ones that you were giving.
Savannah.
Yes. So let's put this to the side.
Let's
Um,
see everybody's picture.
Oh yeah, let's everyone take a pic, show your painting.
Oh wow, that's very nice, Kat. Oh my
That's very
goodness,
nice,
that's so
Kathy.
nice.
Oh, that's beautiful,
It's
Veronica.
really beautiful, Veronica.
Annie too.
Oh, Helen, that's nice, Lily.
Oh my
Wow,
gosh,
Annie,
that's very
very
nice.
nice, very nice.
I love the sky.
Oh my goodness, very nice.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Oh,
That's
Lucy, very nice, Lucy, very nice.
Thank you.
That's very nice, Kathy.
Yeah.
风银树，哇，画的很漂亮哦。Very nice. Okay, make sure you send me the picture. So at the
Yes.
end of the year, we'll do something special with it. Send me the picture, okay?
Yes.
So for today, for the painting, we're gonna do a quick drawing. Remember how in a few classes ago, we were learning how to draw the face and a portrait. And I think we drew an eye.
Yes.
Let me just find that. So we're just going to continue with that. And this time we're gonna learn how to draw a mouth. So later on, we'll be able to put all the things we learned together and draw a full face. So I think this was the guy we did last time. And then we did the eye. Sorry, it's side, but that's okay. We learned, let me just close the curtain because you get the shadow. So let's put our brushes away. So this is what we did last, or a few classes ago. We learned how to draw an eye. And today we're gonna learn how to draw a mouth. So later down the road, we can hopefully do a full portrait. Okay, so let's get our paper, pencils, eraser. And if you have a little piece of paper towel so we can blend, you can use that, or you can also use your fingers, but things get dirty that way. Let me just get our, so for those of you who have our package, you were giving an HB pencil, you can do the entire drawing with just this. Like I've told you a few times before, if you're using just one pencil, that's fine. We'll just make sure when we need a light shadow, we just do, or shade like this, very light. And when we need a darker one, we just put lots of pressure. If you have multiple, like the package like this, remember that so B's are darker and stronger than these. And the higher number I go, it's even darker and thicker. So you can use these big numbers where it is really, really dark, and mid-tones, so mid-shadows maybe over here, and the light over here. Okay, so we're gonna learn to draw the mouth. So, and will be the mouth just from a, like looking straight at a person, of course, almost straight at a person. Of course, the angles change a little bit. So the first thing I'm going to draw is some indications of where my mouth is going to be. So my first step, actually let me do another page because this one is a bit dirty. My first step, and you can do the drawing not too big, so when we're shading, you don't have to shade as much. I'll do it a little bit bigger. So my first step is just draw 2 dots. That is going to be the corners of my mouth. And I am going to draw a line . It's not completely straight. It's a little bit curved like this, but it's very minimal. And we're gonna go over it after, so it doesn't really matter. This is just our basic layout. So I connect the 2 dots. And this person, we're looking at them like in a straight. So we have our 2 dots, we connect them with a line. And now we draw, let's do the lower lip, just an indication, like a curve here. Like a very wide U. Maybe that's too close to my line. I'll do it lower. We need to fix something, we'll fix it after. So the space between my line and the U, let's make it about 1/4 of this line. If that makes sense, you can do that. If not, that's okay. Just try to So this space right here, or I should say this line is 4 times this space. And I'll repeat that. This entire line is 4 times the space from the line to my bottom line. So I can fit this space 4 times here. Anytime you're drawing, you're always looking at proportions. So I make an indication of my line here. And now I'm gonna make, sorry, I'm just gonna move my iPad so I can draw better. I'm gonna make a line going like this, vertical, just in the middle, just to get an idea of where the center of the mouth is. Remember, at this point, we're drawing very light, so we can erase after. So I have my line here. And now we're gonna make an indication of the upper lip. So I'm gonna take this distance and cut it in half. Okay, so I take this and half will be over here. So I place this distance up here, make an indication. So I'm just gonna repeat that. I take this distance, see where halfway is, and I take that same measurement up here. And that's usually where our upper lip is. So I'm gonna put a dot, and then on that dot, I make a V. Of course, when you're drawing from a picture from someone, you should really pay attention to that person's specific features. We all have different lips, but this is more like the general idea. Okay, so I have a nice V. So check your proportions. This is double the size of this. Now I'm going to draw the outer lines. So I wanted to pay attention to this part. So I want to connect these 2 points, but I don't connect them straight from here. So what I'm going to do is I touch this point, I go up a little bit, just a little bit, and I follow this line horizontally. Just for the corner a little bit, and that's when I start going up. And I'm gonna create an M up here with my V. I convert the V into an M. You see this M here? And same thing, I am going to go along this lip a little bit. Not, but what I mean is a lot of times we just put the line straight down here. You want to follow this curve a little bit. So I'm going to repeat what I just did. I look at my first dot and I go just over it, and that's where I start my line. I start my line going to the right, so horizontal. And after I move it or I draw a little bit, that's when I start going up. I don't start going up right away like this. I make an M with the V I already had and go down. I'm not touching this dot yet. We might later. And now the bottom part. Just give you 30 seconds to catch up. So the bottom part, we'll do the same. It's a curve line, like a U. And I don't touch the corners yet. I might do it later, but not yet. Actually make it a little bit wider. My line is too dark now. I'm just erasing a little bit.
Ủa à,攞嗰啲石仔啊，塞住出邊嗰一個二個窿，即係剩咗嗰啲石仔。
So, if you feel that you need to fix something, if you see a mistake, fix it as soon as you see it. So I want to make this curve. Now we're going to redraw this line. So I look at this, where the top of my M is. You don't have to draw the dots, but just for reference. I go down this way, and that's where I start drawing an U, or a V if you, or like a U, a very wide U. And after I have my U, I'm gonna leave a little bit of space here. So this is the corner of my U. I go back a little bit, and that's where I start my other line. And it is going to go down to touch the middle line here. And then slowly starts to come up and straight. So again, I leave a little bit of like the corner, and I start going down in a curve. And then go up a little bit. So it's not a straight line. Now I'm gonna start making the lines where my shadows and highlights will go. So usually on top of the M, I make a U following the shape of the M. And from this lower lip, we're just gonna redraw the borders, the edge, just a little bit inside. I don't go all the way to the edge. And at the top here, I go down my center line. And after I touch the center line, I go up. So make sure up to this point, you're happy with your lips, that they look proportionate, left to right, and top to bottom, they look proportionate. So what I just did here at the end is just create a little circle inside, just to know where I'm going to shade darker and leave as highlight. After the last piece for this section we're going to do is just do these two lines up here. And a small line at the bottom here. If you're done with your layout, if you have multiple pens, you can go to the next one. So a B or a 2B will be fine. Make sure it's sharp. Nice and pointy. If you're using only one, we'll just start using a bit more pressure on the paper because we're going to start shading now. And the first thing we're going to make darker is our lines right here. So only the line and I'm placing quite a bit of pressure on the pencil. This is usually the darkest part of the mouth. So I just redo the line with more pressure. And now we're gonna go start shading. I'm gonna enclose what you're gonna shade first. So for our upper lip, we're gonna shade this area. You don't have to draw this. Once you start seeing what I do, you'll know. So with a light pressure, sorry, I'm just a little bit uncomfortable here. So we're gonna start with a little bit of pressure only. So you can do circles. I like to do just straight lines. And I'm basically just following this center line, I'm just following. So if I see the line starts going up, I go up with it, goes down, up again, down again. And I'm gonna see this area a bit, not too dark. What I am going to make darker is this corner in a bit. So to make something darker, you can go over it again with the same amount of pressure and do lots of layers, or just draw a little bit with more pressure. I like to do layers. So this corner is a little bit darker. And after you're done, we're gonna do the same thing down here. So we can start shading this area. Same technique, light pressure only. And for this part, let me erase a little bit so I can really show you here. So at the bottom, I have 3 lines. This inner circle, then the edge of my lip, and then another line here. So I want to shade this line, but I want to leave a space here. Don't shade, don't touch, don't combine the two. So let me show you what I mean. So I'm gonna go over this line. Here, very, very minimal pressure. And then this is my lower line here. I want to have a highlight between this. So it's dark, light, dark. I'm gonna get closer to show you. So it's dark, this line is darker. I want a white space and then the line on the bottom. And so let's keep coloring the left part of the lip. You see here I go down, keep shading all of this. Just gonna make that line a little bit more clear. If this area is too dark, gently go with an eraser like this, because this is the light area of the paint of the drawing. You don't want it too dark. So here we can use our HB again, or if you have an H or a 2H, you can use those. If you only have the HB, you can continue using the HB. Very, very light shadows. You're barely touching the paper. And I'm just going over this line. And this section here. And I'm just going over what I already shadowed, so or colored. So this close to the line is darker on the upper lip. So I'm gonna go again. And if it's close to the line, I'll make it darker. And remember how I told you there was a line here? So I want a space between this, and then this. So my line number 1, number 2, and number 3. So I start connecting number 2 and number 3. So there's a big shadow. Just going over with my eraser because these lines are too dark, but I don't completely erase them. And now we're gonna go with a little bit of pressure, or maybe a B. We're gonna do the upper lip. So I'm going to, you can let me show you first and then you can do it. So basically I'm shadowing this area and then the upper lip as well here. This is when I told you that if you drew a smaller lip, it's a lot faster. So I am creating like an imaginary line here going down. This one, because I want this edge to be darker. Here, not too dark, and it starts dark at the top here again. So that I'm going to repeat that. So I do a line here in the center going down, so following the M here, going down, and I make this section darker. And I do the same on the other side, a line going down. I leave a space in between the two lines. In that area, I shade a little bit darker than the rest of the lip. If you're not sure how dark to make one section, you can just use a very light pressure and then see. If it's too light, go back to it again. So now I'm finishing the upper lip, but just do a light, a layer with light pressure to cover all the lip, the whole lip, the whole upper lip. After you have the whole upper lip covered, just check where it is darker and you just put another layer with light pressure on it. So I'm gonna make the edge. We're always coming back to this edge because it needs to be darker than the rest. You can take a piece of paper towel with your finger and just gently blend it. Very gently. And now that I have grabbed a little bit of graphite with my paper towel, I can just continue on the lower lip. Just on the corners, the bottom. And now if you have parts of the drawing that should be lighter, just with the corner of your eraser, just tap like this. So I'm just gonna review what I just did. We finished the upper lip. Some areas are darker, so this upper side is dark. The edge here is dark, and the corners are very dark. Also, what is close to my center line is always the darkest. So if you need to go back and fix it, please do. The line is always the darkest. And then we, with a piece of paper towel just finished, and we continue it with the paper towel on our way down. This way you can create a light color, very light. Or a light shade. You see my paper towel is dirty, so I want that. I want to grab a little bit of graphite here. Put it maybe down here. We're gonna go around the lips. The upper part, don't touch the lip. Just go around, but try not to touch the lip. It's very subtle. You will see it better in a white piece of paper, but because mine is gray, can't really see it, but you get the idea. So we are just creating a darker tone around the lips. We'll just go over here too. When I do charcoal or pencil drawings, I think I spend more time with my paper towel than with the actual pencil. It's just lots of layers. We'll just finish with a few details and then we're done. So I want to, maybe let's grab a dark pencil or put lots of pressure. So we're just going to, oops, sorry. We're just going to make sure my lines, my darks are the darkest. So the darkest part, I'm just gonna go over it again. And I'm using a 3B right now. And I'm going to add a little bit of texture, just doing lines downwards, maybe following the curve of the lip. Just a few here and there. What I'm doing right now is just going over my shadows. So look at your picture, try to find out what needs to be darker. I think we're almost done. So you know how I like to use these shapeable erasers? Just mine is, I need to get a new one. It's already old and it's not easy to change the shape, but, or you can use the regular one. Make sure you have a very sharp corner. And we use that as a pencil, like a pencil. So I just grab the edge or the tip of my eraser and just go over the things that need to be lighter. That really brings the drawing to, oh my gosh, sorry. A few lines here and there where you think the light is coming through. And I like to make random lines like this because our lips have this kind of texture. Not forgetting that we usually have a little line down here. So get a piece of eraser. Like I told you before, it's easier if it's really sharp and you can just draw with it. And just erase the parts that you don't need or that are too dark. If you erase too much, you can go back with your paper towel just to blend it a little bit more. Sometimes it blends too much. It's all a matter of going back and forth. And leaving your lights very light. And your darks very dark as well. And I like this line at the bottom. So remember how I was telling you you want a space there? And I know I've told you before that I like using white charcoal to bring the highlights. If you don't have it, you don't need it. So with your eraser, sorry, my thing was all the way down there. With your eraser, make sure you do 2 circles here. I'm gonna show you where I am erasing. A circle here and a circle here. So I'm erasing a circle here and a circle here. Usually lips have that illusion. And then you can do this part with an eraser or a white charcoal pencil if you have one. I just like to bring out a few of the highlights. And just because my paper is gray, it's gonna come out even more. And that's our lip, our quick introduction on drawing lips. Well, I know this was a little bit rushed, but it was just a quick sketch so you get the idea. And next class we'll just start a new project. And we'll just sign it.
What is the name of this white pencil again?
It's called white charcoal.
A white charcoal.
Yes.
I wonder if this is available at the dollar store, do you know?
I'm not 100% sure, but I've seen it at Michael's and it's not too expensive, especially with the 40% coupons they always have. Yeah.
And the netted eraser, have you seen that at the dollar store?
I have not, no.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Your lips look so real. Oh my goodness.
Thank you, May.
It looks so kissable, the lips.
It's all the white charcoal.
Mhm.
So I'm glad to see that you're all getting comfortable using different shapes and pencils and the different shading techniques. Like I said, I really like using the paper towel. Usually when I draw with just black charcoal, what I do is I color a very dark part somewhere else and I just get a brush and transfer the dust into my drawing. That's how I usually do charcoal drawings. So I think it's easier and I like when it's blended. Yeah, so we'll do something else next class and maybe in the future we can do a whole portrait. I'm sure that's gonna take at least 2 classes. So we'll see how it goes.